I find what I typically do when I write is I get stuck in the outlining phase. Hello! So originally I wanted to write the story of this one girl, Quinn, and I did a bunch of development on her story and everyone involved in her life. And then I started to realize that it wasn't a short story series, it was more of a book. And I'm not sure now if I want to make it a book with individual chapters that are kind of like short stories, but it's in a sequence that makes sense and it's a continuing story, or if it should just be a bunch of random short stories within the same world. Because focusing on just one character for an entire book in this world, I don't think it would be interesting enough. Sure, you could make it interesting, you could make anything interesting, but I don't think I would be able to stay interested for long enough. Oh, my collar's all messed up. Whoops. Anyways, with that being said, I just finished the first short story, or chapter, or whatever I'm going to call it later on. That's 881 words. I revised it to make it fit more with the outline that I had planned for this story, and then I set it aside, and I'm going to set it aside for maybe a week, and then I'll go back to it and try to add about 1,000 more words to it. I find what I typically do when I write is I get stuck in the outlining phase. So when I'm writing, it's just the bare bones of the story, and I don't really elaborate on everything that I should be elaborating on. For the next week, I will be working on a new story, which is hopefully going to be a lot longer, because this one wasn't even 1,000 words, and I was expecting it to be 3,000 words. The next one, I'm hoping, will reach that 3,000 word limit. This one is going to be in the same area, but it's going to be focusing on a character that the first character met in passing. From what we saw, this character is nothing like what the reader is going to think. So they're going to see it, and they're going to be like, oh, is that the one from the first story? And then they're going to be like, oh, wait, what? I finished the first story today, and I finished the revision process, the first revision process, and then I started outlining the new story, so that's what I'm going to be working on today, for the rest of today, and tomorrow. And I'll probably start writing tomorrow also, but just for now I'm going to be planning more stuff. So I made a character chart with all of the different characters that I have planned to do point of views from. 8 characters. Is that 8? Yeah, 8 characters. Wow. It's a lot. Some of them will have more than one story, but so far the first character is only going to have one, because it's just an introduction to the world, and then we're going to go back. So it starts in a very explosive time in the timeline. Oh yeah, the next character that I'm writing about is Elauer. The main plot thing in the first story that I wrote is started by a Trozi woman. I don't actually know how to explain these things to the reader, because the characters already know about these aliens. So it wouldn't make sense for the point of view character to be like, oh my gosh, what is that? That's obviously an alien. No, because they know. They're just like, oh, that's a Trozi woman. Why would they want to explain what a Trozi woman is? Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Some things in scripts seem natural, but in novels they wouldn't work, and vice versa.